Wow, just when I thought that I had seen it all. So, anyway, this is my Facebook profile, and I put in some really valuable posts. It really hurts my feelings. Now, this is a status update with a photograph. That's the only reason they got it, and I did put this up just now. Facebook failing to post links even after confirmation tone. I mean, I put it just blows my mind. Ever since this one right here about the shooting, I went over to Utah Revival and put up several links, and they all got the confirmation tone where it goes pring. And so I went and did that, and I heard all of them, and none of them worked. So it appears to me I'm going to have to do like films in order to get you to be able to hear. See, this link I shared, I'm going to share it again right here for you. Now, see where it says shared on your timeline? This one I definitely want up there. Guns should not be in the hands of the mentally unstable, says senile man with nukes. I mean, seriously, hashtag Ukraine, hashtag Biden crime family, hashtag, uh, oh my gosh, it would blow your mind what's going on right now. It's really hurting my feelings because these guys are covering the fact that the Hillary Russia hoax is being proven step by step by step. And I want to know how that's not treason. How is all that they're doing not treason? Meanwhile, I'm the one having my links taken off. I put this one up where you see it says like. Down here you'll see like. All these likes are ones that I shared, and it gave me the confirmation bar. I just went to my profile. And oh great, did you see that? I went back to go to home and it kicked me all the way out. We do need to talk about this. A retired FBI agent was in constant communication with the Buffalo shooter. See, there's so much you guys don't know going on. There's just so many gun operations going up. They've got to get your guns. See, the people have to get your guns because they know that what they've done to you, if you knew what they really have done to you, you'd want to shoot them, and they're afraid of that. And so they have an unending supply of money. You got to understand, this does not originate solely in America. This is a very old operation. The fact of the matter is that the people in, if you ever heard of Davos, okay, they claim to be getting together for one reason, but it's just centralized power. It's a beautiful place in Switzerland where they all meet. The elite, the whatever they call themselves, the power, the concentrated powerists. Well, they're the Luciferian globalists. They actually believe in transhumanism. They want to ascend to godhood without God, while spitting in his eye. But they're going to go ahead and ascend to the dark quarters. Luciferians are a whole new thing that people don't really understand. Whenever you hear death to the New World Order, the New World was America. That was them carrying masks. The words are very, very powerful. Words carry mass. That's why it's called spelling. When you metaphysics, that's why this is called the apocalypse. Apocalypse means revelation. It doesn't mean big disaster. Well, your words carry mass. And this is the old world order rearing its ugly head and deciding that they would much rather unify than see America continue to infect its freedom, because America certainly has. And that upsets them because they consider this an upstart country with an illusion of freedom. They have an entirely different philosophical set than you would understand. Theosophy, Luciferianism, all of that will tell you what they believe in. Communism, that's where your green movements start. Environmentalism, people don't realize that weather is supposed to be dictated by the blessings that you earn or not from God. They're now controlling it with chemtrails and HARP. You can look that up yourself, and they have testified in Congress. Bill Gates claims he's doing it to mitigate the harm from global warming. So it's kind of hazing out the sun. Meantime, you and I just see some lines in the sky, and most people don't have time to sit around, but I like to lay out, and so I look up and they spread. Next thing you know, there's a haze through the entire, and all of the clouds that were there are smearing and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then they gather somewhere else and they flood somebody because that's not the appointed rain that was supposed to be for them. They're screwing with the system on purpose. Meanwhile, we're in this situation that the Biden crime, the Hillary hoax the Hillary, I call it the Hillary Russia hoax. She absolutely initiated, they want you to believe that it was all made up. It was all made up by her. It was approved by her. It was paid for by her. It was all put out there. I'm going to go ahead and put a lot more, but I was actually here about Facebook. I can't believe how they, have been manipulated. Now, they have restricted accounts. That's what they did to my friend Eric. I'm going to show you to him. If you ever want to hear a really good guy give you some great advice, that's this fellow. He's an ex-police officer from here in Salt Lake City. He had to move to southern Utah because of pressure. And up here, they were forcing him to do things that he didn't believe in as an officer. So he's literally drummed out of the liberal force here. Utah is entirely communist occupied. Our governor is a heinous rhino, and he has pushed every single day the liberal agenda. It's amazing. We've got rainbows everywhere, including our city hall flashes lights in the rainbow. And so it's kind of interesting what they put us under this. And the rainbow, I'd like to explain to people, the rainbow is not to include all colors like they thought in the beginning. No, not at all. It's a way of slapping God in the face, saying, you said you wouldn't destroy us by water, remember? The rainbow is supposed to be your symbol, your covenant, that you're never going to hurt us. No matter what we do, we can eat babies, we can rape children, we can hurt people, we can do whatever we want. But you said you wouldn't hurt us. Rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. Well, guess what, fools? That doesn't work against fire and brimstone, you idiots. The fact of the matter is they don't read the scriptures. And even if they did, the Lord has made it so they can't comprehend them, because they're too many times in the past, whenever God has dispensed his power upon the earth, people used it for their own ill-gotten gain. And it's just really evil that they do stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm going to go head back to Eric puts up some amazing things. Let's see if he's got some good means. Well, this is really pretty good. I've been thinking about how all of the things happening are truly not going to stop. That's true. The wickedness will continue to get worse. That's why Jesus is going to have to come. Everybody out of the pool. Meanwhile, in fact, the world, which is the devil's kingdom, that's scripture, is going to continue to cannibalize itself until there's nothing left. A house divided cannot stand. And the devil's house is very, very divided. Mark 3:25. That's absolutely true. That's why the Democrats do nothing but divide. Where's their paycheck? If they can't claim you're a victim, they can't save you. And people don't understand that this has been going on for a long time. I was raised in it. My own family are a part of it now, and that breaks my heart. Meanwhile, I love this one. I love to be the first one to say that I will not be getting the experimental monkeypox vaccine either. Make that a ditto on this girl. I also, flying monkeys, people are always wondering what that is. Those are people who help narcissistic abusers. Just like every person that is supporting Johnny Depp, the monster who hurt lovely Amber Heard. No, she's not perfect. Oh, did I mention she's not perfect? Guess what, guys? She's human. But what that woman had to live with, half this man's age, a 50-year-old, why would he want to be with a 25-year-old in the first place? She just turned 25. Why? So he could control and manipulate like he does everybody else. You should have seen him leaving the courthouse yesterday. I'm getting upset about this because when he left, he had to shake hands with every person. Narcissists always do that. They are just campaigning constantly. She was very pleasant to the lady that walked her out. They talked, and it wasn't just her, though. She was with a group, and they were all saying goodbye to the officer, and the officer was a lovely woman, and you could see her glowing with happiness that these people, are such lovely people. Then the charmer came out, and boy, they don't realize he's a magician. He's a sorcerer. He had to have contact. When you touch someone's hand like that, you can actually affect them. It's a chemical thing, okay? You guys have heard of chemistry with boyfriends and girlfriends. Well, it doesn't just work with that. That's why, sometimes people can be very cold towards each other, but then when they touch, somehow just touch of the arm, even a hug, and all of a sudden things are way deeper, and that's what he did. And those police officers should have never accepted a handshake from him. He was trying to get even more allies, and this was his opportunity. It's not as if he gets to go around buying cops like my dad did. No. He has to arrange it. You know what I mean? It has to happen to where it would be appear organic. Yesterday he came out, he literally took time to shake for like 4 or 5 different people's hand. What was that about? Is he the president? You guys do not see how self-important he is. People don't realize the amount of money he has, the amount of properties, the amount of nasty, filthy, disgusting Luciferian things that him and his friends do, and they appear as angels of light, just like the scriptures said. I find it so ironic that people could even hear him admit to the things he's done and what he is, how damaged his background, how he, meanwhile, all these people, he's done this, he's done that. That's one thing you need to know about Luciferians, yes, but I'm talking about narcissists in particular right now, is that they pay people off. They will tell you a story. They will talk to you for 3 days to get you on their side, to make you understand that they're above the rules, that this is a special case, that they're a huge victim, that they're being destroyed, and you should help them. Yeah, oh yeah, he puts himself like he's just so hurt, and they go to help him. Isn't it funny how he's been smiling and joking and so arrogantly confident the entire time? I know he thinks the fix is in. He's done everything from witchcraft to bribery to extortion. You name it, it's there. But there is a God. And she's a daughter of God. So there are those of us who know the truth. There are those of us who have lived the truth. It was ironic because when I saw one of his attacks, it literally sent me right back because she couldn't know the things she says. She couldn't, the filming, for example, people picked on her saying she was smirking. You'd be surprised how much I laughed at my husband. He'd be flipping the flip out, and I'd be like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? You know, you got to laugh to keep from crying. It's a freaky situation. You can't even believe it's happening. So you have to record it just for yourself later to go, what the heck happened? What was he, for one thing, they just start, they do a lot of mumbling and, you know, like Johnny Depp was doing when he was trashing the kitchen and threw a wine glass at her. I kid you not. It's ironic because you just don't, when it's happening, it's so surreal. So later, if you record it, you can kind of hear what they're saying, and because you really do want to know what was getting to them. Sometimes, this is before you understand that you're with a narcissist, you'll want to show it to them because they don't remember later. A lot of times they won't remember it, or they'll just deny it, and they seem so believing that this didn't happen, and in fact they try to make you doubt your sense. Narcissists love telling you things didn't happen that did because they're gaslighting you. By the time you're done, you're not even sure if that's your purse. Okay, it's crazy. And they control the flip out of you. So meanwhile, this poor girl, in trying to, you know, if she ever tried to show him one of the films, oh my God, I'll bet you she did that, and they want to destroy you at that part. At that point, that's when he started selectively recording her after gaslighting her. See, that's one thing they will do, is they'll do crappy stuff all day long, even dangerous stuff. Soon as you finally stand up, or you finally just can't take it anymore, because you're usually just trying to take it because you know they can take their anger to murder. This man chopped his own finger off. My husband tore through the wall, beat it up. He literally had been crappy all day. Then all of a sudden he said, well, why don't you put on Medea? And I love Medea. So I was like, are you sure? Because he had often told me, I don't like Medea anymore. He liked her, he didn't. I didn't know he had 7 personalities. By the way, DID and all that stuff, it's nothing more than spiritual possession. Just so that you know, mental problems are spiritual problems and vice versa. I went and got it all set up. It took a little bit to put together because his rinky-dink system was kind of odd, but I can I put together things with spit and Band-Aids if necessary. So I got it all together, and I said, honey, I got the Medea ready. And he goes, oh, I hate Medea. And he literally tore a hole in the wall and punched walls. And that scared me because I heard mice in the walls, you know. And so, I tell you, the house had so many, wait till you hear my story. It's just insane. Anyway, so Eric had some really great things up here that I really wanted you to see. See where it says you shared this on your profile. It's funny because they always do this, you see, and they're giving him a 90-day shadow ban. On me, they said my stuff would be lowered. This is some of his, he does a lot of good talking. I should hear what he says, but he's always getting in trouble because he speaks the truth. You know, a police officer who's done nothing But now, see, this reminds me of us, actually. This picture, I would put Zelensky's face. You know how Biden's holding him up? I think literally and this is America over here, the little girl drowning. Oops, sorry. Anyway, that's what it makes me feel like. They're saying that, yeah, the American baby's drowning, but I think all of America is in this terrible state, and this idiot is doing nothing more than, I think, if not, I do believe that he appreciates the fact that there are many gun problems so that he can fix them by taking them away from you, you know? But I do like this that Eric put up here. I believe Satan himself is directly behind the transgender movement for several reasons. If you think about it, God wants us to become like him with an identity, destiny, purpose, and endless posterity. As men and women of God, Satan surely wants the exact opposite, which is confused, depressed. I have 3 children that had this dysmorphia because of the Utah communist school system. They show porn here. They took the kids to the adult bookstores, told the girls how they hated being girls, the boys how they hated being boys. They really did. They confused all 3 of my children. They were very good at their grades. That's why they got A's. I noticed the kids that weren't affected got very bad grades. And so, anyway, each one of them has gone through unending amount of confusion because of this, and in my opinion, they're exceedingly mature. I love my children, and they're very law-abiding. They're great people to a certain extent, but they're simply not, I guess, the best way. Well, you know what the millennials are. You know what they are. I have it. I can't think of it. I'm stuttering. It's upset. I'll do this a lot better later, guys. You just have no idea how much it's caused problems. In fact, genderless without body parts or the eternal ability to procreate. Everything in this spiritual war is symbolic. Nothing is by accident. The good news is God wins in the end. Choose him by knowing both who he is and who you are. We chose our genders before we got here. Sure, the obstacle may be dysmorphia. I thought I was lesbian as a teenager for a minute, you know. The thing is that we all have affinities and aversions, and if we practice something more often and like it, we might get more into it. Now, the thing about the sodomy thing is that just medically speaking, there's so much to talk about that, and it just hurts my feelings when people tell you that it's not something you can get over. You so can. Most people can. There are a lot of people, who want to steal, but you're not supposed to do that either, and for you to say that you're a woman when you're not is highly insulting to those of us with the strengths of a woman, with the instincts of a woman, not only with the duties of a woman, not only with the challenges of the physical. There's also the challenge of the hormonal and the mental, the spiritual. Women have different spiritual challenges and duties than men do. They want to put us all into the same primordial soup, but the fact of the matter is we're distinctly different for a reason. We all made choices prior to coming here. We did not pop out of a lake. We have a destiny and we have a past. We are here for boot camp to prove to ourselves what our affinities and aversions are, what our priorities and irresponsibilities are. Why the heck? Yes, you're a baby God. Yes, you could have future eternities and universes and procreate planets forever. But my question to you is this: how many people do you know that even want the responsibility of 2 kids, a cat, and a wife? Not many, okay? So that's what we're here to find out for ourselves. We all talk shit in the pre-existence. I'm going to be perfect, and I'm going to be just like God, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Well, if you didn't have the veil to take that away from you, how could you be yourself? How could you really find out what you are? Maybe all you want to do is make different breeds of cats for the rest of your life. Maybe you want to just study science. Do you honestly think that art stops when you die? No. You're going to want to paint. You're going to want to do everything, okay? And whatever your responsibilities and abilities are, and I say that because some people can be irresponsible and use their agency unwisely. Now, why would we give you keys to a car that we know you're going to wreck, okay? It's an enemy that goes to his enemies child and goes, "Your daddy's so mean. He won't let you drive that Ferrari. Here's the keys, kid." And what does the kid do? Slam right into the wall. You now have why they give sorcery and witchcraft to the earth. Yes, these are all powers we can use in the future. But do you really know how to use them yet? Do you really know the effect? If you change one thing, could it change another? Could you actually end up in the soup anyway? See, people don't understand. I grew up in witchcraft and I've seen it cause nothing. It wreaks havoc, absolute havoc. It's the dumbest thing in the world. If you ever want 100% efficiency, pray to the Lord, thanking Him first for whatever you can be thankful for. If it's even the breath you're taking, address Him, Heavenly Father, God, whatever it is you call Him. You ask Him for the desires, the righteous desires of your heart, and always seal it in the name of Jesus Christ. Otherwise, it's like sending an envelope without a stamp. It might end up there, but it's not going to have priority. And the fact of the matter is that if you're not willing to do what it takes to save yourself, why should everybody else be worrying about it? Well, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't want nothing to do that. Don't try to do it. Well, fine. Bye. If you want to do it on your own, will let you. Okay, the Lord will let you. He will force no man to heaven. He loves all His kids. He wants you to come home, but He doesn't necessarily want a bunch of feral wild animals coming up in His beautiful house ruining it for everybody. Meanwhile, as loud voices argue on, let us remember that those who advocate abortion have already been born. That's from our prophet. And the thing that gets me is everybody's so upset about a child shooting, but they don't care about babies being murdered in the womb. And I know America is about the fact that nobody is any more valuable than anybody else. How dare you say that one person deserves protection, but another person doesn't? Until they give up their guns, we the people will keep ours. They've got a lot of cotton picking nerves. I don't care what you identify as. Just understand, if you have a sexually charged conversion with my child, I will identify you as a pinata. Hashtag I like candy. That's so funny. I love that. I thought I was going to say pedophile, but that was cute. Anyway, please do go see about him. American Mutsos. His Twitter handle. If you're a man, a decent man, cucks, we don't need none of them. Okay. If you're weak, if you're dishonest, if you're evil, if you're sinister, if you're two-faced, if you're wishy-washy, if you're weak. I'm repeating that because, I don't know, in my opinion, weakness is one of the most. I guess being a Capricorn, I consider weakness a sin, Oh, by the way, sin means to miss the mark. It means to miss the target. It doesn't mean evil. It doesn't mean wicked. It means to miss the target. You can overshoot a target. You can undershoot a target. However, it is wicked and evil if you know you're missing that target and you continually do it. And if you get off on it, that's what makes you sinister and evil. Okay? People don't understand that. Censorship is the tool used when the lie loses its power. Abolule. Y'all better recognize, I'm just so glad that God has been taking care of me. Meanwhile, another 90 days today, April 9th, they're restricting his account. It's been done to me over and over again. I love this. The Book of Mormon. I literally wrote a book to warn you guys about this. #Mormon, because it's true. The Book of Mormon is about all of this. And so I need to share that and watch. Let's go see if it actually shares it. Okay. Shared on my timeline. Now let's go see if it actually shared it. Because every other share I've done today, after that shooting, disappeared. Isn't that interesting, my children? Come on. And of course, it's taking all day long. We're on Xfinity, the best program they have. We pay over $200 a month for cable, and that's the speed that we have. Okay, now you just saw me try to go to Facebook to my home, and it just closed it out completely. What you just saw is what happens to me all the time. It booted me out to YouTube. So I'm going to go to Facebook. Okay, then I touch on my face. That takes me to my profile. Okay. Oh, it did put this up here. That's nice. I'm so grateful. It put him up too. Ever since I put this one up, because after this one, I did at least a half hour of posting, 10 of them with all the confirmations. Maybe the person who was on at that point took, oh, it's 9:31 in the morning. I wonder if whoever was censoring me, their shift was over at 9, because all of a sudden I'm back, thank God, and I'll go share all those things again. I've done it more than once. You guys have got to have steadfastness. If they thwart you, don't give up on it. They're the ones who are AD-D. Don't let them be the ones who drop the ball. But if we have to repeat and repeat, dot those I's, dot those I's, cross those T's. Do your thing, ladies and gentlemen. Do not let these people dissuade you from doing what you know is right. It has been something that has blown my mind from the very beginning, that anyone could advocate for evil knowing that evil could bite you in your own booty. Why would you, hashtag karma. So trip up on this. Imagine if there was this much outrage if the media reported on all the children who were being killed on a daily basis in America, including children in the womb, by the diabolical practice of abortion. I wonder how quickly the tide would change if the masses who need to be told what to think were finally educated that murder is murder in all its forms. And this vax, what they're doing with the vax, is beyond it. I do like this, where it says they have a right to want to protect the children. In just a few weeks, some Utah County teachers, they're going to be going through training from Utah County Sheriff's Office with a goal to prepare for being active shooting situations, Wherever there's a bad gun, there should be 10 or 20 good guns, you know what I mean? And it just blows my mind how people don't understand that. See, in the Old West, there was not, that's what built America. There was not law that could really be, we didn't have 911. So people understood. And the thing is when it comes to fist fighting and guns, if both parties are aware and openly challenging, often God will give the strength and the aim to the virtuous party. People don't understand that blessings follow nobility quite often. And so if the person does die, there's a purpose in it. God has a purpose in everything. None of it's random, none of it's accident, but it does have to play out. And God, it's like us with our children. You basically know what's going to happen with them. You're not going to not love them if they don't want to be just like you. You're not going to not love them if they don't want to have your job. But you are kind of aware who's got what weaknesses among your progeny. You kind of know who's more susceptible to being dishonest, but you got to let it play it out. You got to let them have their agency. You got to let them work it out. And ask me how many times you saw a bad kid grow up to be an incredible person. And I've seen some good kids grow up to be very sinister because the world pounded it out of them. But the fact is, we're here to be sifted. And quite frankly, circumstances don't really dictate who we are. They more so reveal who we are. And we want to know, would we steal food out of another kid's mouth if we were starving to death? We talked a lot of crap in the pre-existence. Here's what we get to prove to not you, not me, not the other person, but to ourselves who and what we are. That's a very valuable experience. The only time in your life that you're ever going to be susceptible to death, that you're ever going to have to worry about accident or injury without commission, without you allowing it, unless you go to hell, in which case you deserve your punishments. The thing is that we won't be able to get sick again. We won't be able to see who will help us when we're down, because we won't be down. You know what I mean? And anything you do need, you're going to get from God anyway. This is really the only time we ever had to rely on each other, to come through for each other. Even though we didn't have, quote, divinity and magical powers, many of us, taking the least of what we have taken our last mouthful and given it to another. And don't you start thinking nice of me, but I have more than once had to give the shoes off my feet to somebody on the street who is homeless, who had no shoes, girls. And I was in a wheelchair, so why not give it to him? You know what I mean? The ground was hot. The ground was cold. And anyway, that doesn't make me good. It would have made me an a-hole if I didn't. And I was looking around at a lot of a-holes, to be honest with you, people who could have helped. I'm going to be quiet. And I believe it's a conservative value to help. Because the funny thing is, the ones who don't help around me are the liberals. They're the ones calling everybody trash and wanting to get rid of them. The people that are being newly dehoused by all of the, we're getting a massive influx of immigrants here. And so people are just being pushed out of their homes. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Some people are like trying to take a stand and getting on the news, and they eventually get taken away too, no matter how long they've been here. And that's the whole point. They're flushing out the native Utahns and moving in immigrants and liberals from other states. They park right across the street from where we are at the senior facility, and you see license plate after license plate: California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon, Washington. They're all coming from other places. Las Vegas. They often vote in our elections. I have filmed them in line waiting to vote and film their cars. They do a lot of really icky things around here, and they even infiltrate some of the churches and do satanic rituals just to do an extra ick. And in fact, is today the 5th? It's supposed to be the 4th and 5th. They're going to be doing satanic baptisms. Now they call them unbaptisms because that sounds a lot less sinister, and people are likely to be less repelled by that revolting idea of being baptized to the accuser. That's what the word Satan means. Anyway, I hope you learned a few things. I love you. I meant this to only be 30 minutes. I went over by about 2 minutes. I really didn't intend it to be 30 minutes. First I said this is going to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes in my head, and then I said 30 minutes or bust. And oh well, bust. I just love you guys. I appreciate that you took the time to listen to your little babbling friend, and your little sister loves you. I hope that you know how appreciated you are. And I'm trying to look obviously at the timer so that I don't ruin it. But it's not going to be able to be on time, or you know what I mean. I guess I won't be doing it exact. And in the future, I'm not going to do that anyway. And I hate wasting your time. You guys have a beautiful day. Thank you for everything, and know that we love you. Take care.